I'm in public affairs, which means that we deal with relationships between the consulate and people like the media and the general public. So we do a lot with school kids, with university visitors, a lot with journalists from the different news outlets. And that's kind of our main focus, I guess.
I'm in the US Commercial Service, which is like the trade division of the US Consulate General. So we help US companies who want to export their products to Australia and find a distributor in Australia that's willing to do that. So kind of helping the trade relationship between Australian companies and US companies.
I'm in political economy, or polyecon. So we spend a large portion of time preparing briefing memos and going through like scheduling and how we can arrange different meetings with different like prominent political figures and economic figures within the Queensland and New South Wales jurisdiction.
Okay, so I'm in management. Basically we do everything sort of behind the scenes. So we organise all the events, we organise leasing and things like that when diplomats do come in and work here. Just kind of anything that needs to be organised, we're on top of that.
I think that one of the highlights for me is being able to put together like a project where it is that you like have all the scheduling of where it is that the Consul General is going to be. You have like down to the nitty-gritty up to who it is that he's going to be meeting with, and then being able to actually like personally brief the Consul General on that. That was something which was actually a real kick. Yeah.
For me personally, one of the highlights has been being able to go to the residence of the Consul General and have several coffee meetings with a number of the journalists. So we had one for ABC journalists, and then we had one for a journalist from a lot of the American news outlets like Reuters, and that was incredible, just hearing all those people talk about all their experiences and their life stories up until this point, and that's been a really big highlight for me.
For me as well, going to the Consul General residence and being able to network with people who wouldn't normally meet on a day-to-day basis. So there were key figures from big accounting firms to corporations to NGOs in one setting.
For me, I've really kind of enjoyed the day-to-day stuff. So I've been given quite a few sort of writing tasks and a lot of research, which I've really just generally enjoyed. I've been organising the events sort of behind the scenes. Just the whole thing has been really, really good.
Personally, the opportunities which we've actually had here have been just so outside of the usual, what it is that you would usually be exposed to. I think that at least at the internship level, and I think that the fact that we've been so well integrated into our sections and throughout the rest of the consulate actually has been something which has really been a worthwhile thing for me.
Yeah, I mean, after one of the first things they told us when we came in was this isn't a getting coffee and doing photocopy job, and that's been completely true. We've been doing stuff that any other person working in our sections would have been doing.
Yeah.
And we've also had the opportunity to do things like media training, which I know was really interesting with one of our media experts here. And we've also had the chance to talk to a lot of people from different departments, so it's not just that you stay in your one department the whole time and that's all you get to know. We've talked to people from all the other departments, so that includes the departments of the other interns and then also the other, I guess, bodies that are stationed here like the Secret Service and IRS, all that kind of stuff, which has been really interesting.
NCIS.
Really spend a lot of time on your personal reflection statement, because I've heard that they look a lot at that.
My advice going into the group interview would be instead of dominating the conversations, try and facilitate it.
They want to know how you think and how you process information and how you respond to a given scenario. But they're pretty nice about it. They don't just like they're not just silent waiting for you to work it out on your own. They kind of prompt you and
Yeah, they're working with you. I mean, they're all really lovely people, and I know we were all interviewed by the people we're now working for. So you kind of get to know them, and they know a lot about you. They've gone through their applications, and they've been the one who's said, yes, let's interview this person, let's have this person in.
They have quite a large focus on organisational fit, and so it's how well you can kind of convey your personality and your character, both in the interview setting, obviously, but in a written form.
I guess as closing remarks, I think all of us agree that it's been an absolutely fantastic experience, and we definitely recommend this to anyone. Even if, like Mariah said, you don't have to be die-hard fan of American politics, you don't have to have watched every episode of The West Wing, you just need to be
yeah, it's a great environment. Like we were saying, you don't have to be into politics. You don't have to know that you want to be into diplomacy. I mean, a lot of the skills that you learn, I think, are really general and can be
Applicable
applied
everywhere.
yeah, anywhere. So yeah, it's just a really good opportunity, and absolutely apply.